Hello again, guys. I'm going to continue with trig. This is one of the questions that I was asked to do, where we are given the for cot theta plus 3 is equals to 0. And then they're saying the theta is between 0 and 180, right? And then we're going to solve this. Firstly, we are going to take 3 after the equal sign. So we're going to have 4 cot theta is equals to -3, then dividing both sides by 4. Therefore, this cancels that. We are left with cot theta and is equals to 3/4. Now remember, cot, it is a reciprocal of 1/10. Cot theta is equals to 1/10 theta. And not only that, we also have sec theta. Sec theta, the reciprocal is 1/cos theta. And then lastly, we have the reciprocal of sine. Let me write it correctly. In fact, in the right order. If we have cosec theta, this means that we have 1/sine theta. Okay. But in this case, we have cot theta. So cot theta, we are going to have 1/10 theta is equals to, let's just take the negative to our numerator. And then we cross multiply there. I'm going to have -3, 10. We multiplied, and then 4 times 1 is 4. And then again, we call over 1/3, divided by -3. This cancels that, and then our 10 theta is equals to -4/3. Always, we need to work within the functions that we know. And the functions that we know, always we use SOHCAHTOA, right? SOHCAHTOA, right? So now we know that we're dealing with 10. Immediately after you did this, then you draw your Cartesian plane. It is very important for you guys to draw your Cartesian plane thereafter. And then we have 0 there. Remember, we have 90, we have 180, and we have 270. Correct? So now, once we did this, then we go and check, where is 10 negative? Remember our cast. Here, quadrant 4 cos is the only one that is positive. This first quadrant, all of them are positive. And then only sine is positive there. And then lastly, only 10 is positive there. And then now in this case, then we're asking ourselves, between theta, where is 10 negative? That should be our second quadrant, right? So we're going to draw our graph on our second quadrant, our triangle. And then we're going to have our theta there. And then remember, SOHCAHTOA, right? SOHCAHTOA, therefore, it means this number here should be negative because that is our, no, not negative. Let's take a break. Remember, 10 is opposite over adjacent, right? So yes, I'm correct. I'm going to have -3 there. And then this side, we are going to have a 4, right? So thereafter, now we need to find our hypotenuse. Let me just use a different color. We now need to use our hypotenuse. So now finding our hypotenuse, let's quickly, I hope you guys can reverse and check that, or we can just write it down for you guys to do. So for us to find a hypotenuse, we need to use our Pythagoras theorem, saying our hypotenuse is equals to x squared plus y squared, right? It is also squared. Therefore, hypotenuse squared x squared is -3 squared plus 4 squared. Therefore, we have a squared is equals to 9 plus 16 which finally our hypotenuse is 25. Now we are quickly doing that, square rooting it, so our hypotenuse is 5. So now we know now in this case that our hypotenuse is 5. That is all that we needed to do, okay? And then like they said there, we should use the sketch. So that sketch, we can see it has no marks, but it helps our job to become much more easier. So there, our sketch is there. We saw how we did first step by step. There's part one of this trigonometry. You can also check it. I did a similar example to this one. And then now the first question there, they're saying we should determine cos theta. All right. Cos theta is here adjacent over hypotenuse. So we have our 90 degrees there. So now looking here, our adjacent is how much? Our adjacent is negative 3 over our hypotenuse, which is 5. So now for 4 marks, for only this thing. So where did we get the marks? We got most of our marks from the sketch. So it's very important for us to know and learn how to sketch. Okay. Then on to the second question. Second question there we are given there, we should solve that as well. So we are given 3 sine theta sec multiplied by sec theta over 10 theta. So we have 3 sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So our opposite is there. It's 4 over our hypotenuse, which is 5, multiplied by sec. Remember, we said sec is the opposite of cos, all right? So if cos was, in this case, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, right? If our cos, let me just write it there, cos, if cos is that, therefore our adjacent is going to be negative 3 over hypotenuse, which is 5. Meaning now our sec is just going to be the reciprocal of that, which is going to be 5 over negative 3, okay? And then we have it over 10. 10 is, in fact, if ever is given, like if ever they said over, we can simply just write it on the side and just say divided, okay? Divided by 10. 10 is opposite over adjacent. Our opposite in this case is 4 over our adjacent, which is negative 3. And then quickly, let's multiply there. We're going to have 12 over 5. In fact, let's just make it much more easier. This 5 is going to cancel that 5, okay? And this 3 is going to cancel that 3. Then I'm left with a negative 4. We're left with negative 4. And then this division, we want to change it to become multiplication, is going to be divided by that. And then we have 4. And then this 4 also is going to cancel that 4. We are left with negative divided by negative is positive. So our answer is going to be positive 3. Okay, I'm just doing a revision. If ever I skipped, I did not even skip any step. I just used the basics that by now it should become a revision. Whenever I do this, you should be remembered, oh, no, I see what Sir did, or I see what Sir did. So most of this is just a revision of what you guys must have learned already in the term. But if you are still struggling, just comment below and then we'll do more videos like this one with more analysis and breakdowns. And then now going to question 4.1.2. 4.1.2. Let us check 4.1.2. They're saying now, hence, show that, let me just draw a line here to separate the two. So in this case, they're saying we should show that sine squared theta minus 1 it is equals to negative cos squared theta. So quickly, let us check what is our left-hand side. Let's just check what it gives us. Okay, so sine squared, sine is opposite over adjacent, opposite over hypotenuse, so we're going to have 4 over 5 squared minus 1. I did not say anything about using or not using a calculator. So in this case, we can use a calculator. As easy as that. Okay, we can use a calculator. So this gives us, quickly on the calculator check, we have 4 over 5, close bracket, squared, minus 1. So this gives us negative 9 over 25. And then now let's quickly check how much this now gives us. I'm going to say negative. Remember, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, so adjacent is negative 3 over hypotenuse, which is 5. And then we also squared because it's squared there. And then let's check how much this gives us. So quickly we have negative, open bracket, and then we have negative 3 over 5, close bracket, squared. And then it gives us the same thing, which is negative 9 over 25. So now we proved that, or we showed that hence that these two are indeed equal. Okay. I hope you guys understand. If not, again, you will leave the comments on our comment section.